YouTube, it's time to cook some food. This time, it's New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's. Going into 2022. What are we doing this time? How about an A7 Australian Wagyu prime rib? Oh yeah. It's an extra special cook. Super excited about it. You might say, where do you come up with something like this? If you haven't watched my buddy Malcom read How to Barbecue Right, I suggest you make sure you check out his channel. He did this exact cook about a month ago or so, and I said I've got to do it. So that's what I'm doing. It's a like I said, it's an Australian Wagyu A7 grade prime rib. Came from the butcher shop out of Pensacola, Florida. I'll leave a link in the description below. How I'm gonna season it up: Worcestershire. Is that how you say it? Nobody knows. But that's gonna be a binder. Swine Life prime beef rub as my this is the main seasoning I'm using. It smells amazing. Salt, sugar, onion, maple sugar powder, all kinds of stuff in here, but it smells killer. And then I come back on top of that with a little bit of Killer Hogs. That's Malcom Reed's that's his spice brand, little TX brisket rub, which should give me a nice crust on the outside of this bad boy. Cooking it on my Weber Smoky Mountain. Gonna use a little bit of hickory, maybe a little bit of oak. Not gonna do a whole lot, but this is a big piece of meat, and it can definitely take the smoke. So follow along. I'm gonna get to cooking. Check out this marbling. This is gonna be some good eating. So one thing, when I ordered it, which by the way, you have to call them. They don't do a website or anything like that. You have to call them, place your order the old school way. I had them trim it up prior to shipping and get it all strung up. There's a couple things in here I might have done a little bit different. I mean, there's some silver skin that I would normally trim that out. I'm gonna trust them. I'm gonna leave that in. I mean, there's a few other pieces I could probably trim out. Yeah, it just pulled out. Holy cow, this fat just melts. Wow. I don't know if you can see that. It just melts. It's nuts. Okay, time to season it up. All right, time to cook. What do you think of the new barbecue area, huh? This is my COVID 2020 project. I think it's pretty sweet. Okay, so Weber Smoky Mountain. This is what the piece is going in. FireBoard to monitor temperatures. Then I've got my anniversary kettle over here, and this is what I'll do the mushrooms on. So intention is hardwood charcoal. I get this from an Amish friend. This is a bunch of scrap wood from his sawmill that he turns into charcoal. It's the best stuff ever. I'm going to use that. A couple pieces of oak. Again, the intention is I don't want to smoke this. You know, you could smoke prime rib. That's cool. I don't know that I want to smoke a Wagyu prime rib. So, a couple chunks of oak there to do that, and then I'm gonna throw a little bit of apple in on the mushrooms. So I'm gonna do the mushrooms on the kettle, get those going. I'm gonna try and keep that low, you know, run that at like 200, 225, just enough to keep some heat on it. Weber Smoky Mountain, I'm gonna try and run that somewhere between 225. If I can get between 225 and 275, which I realize that's a 50-degree swing, but I'd be okay with that. So I'd even be okay with cooking a little on the higher side. But yeah, let's All right, charcoal's going. That's about ready. There we go. All right, so intentions again. Got the anniversary kettle over there set up for indirect cooking to do my mushrooms. You saw me watch me put a little bit of apple wood in there. I've got one chunk that'll go underneath the charcoal, and I've got another couple smaller pieces that'll go on top just to kind of get that little love going. Weber Smoky Mountain, how I'm gonna set that up. I've got charcoal down here in the bottom with a couple pieces of that post oak wood chunk on the bottom of the charcoal, so it kind of gives it a little bit. I think it smokes a little bit better. And then I'm intending to put another double pans underneath of the rib roast itself to catch the drippings. Yeah, just let it cook. So let's get this thing. Anniversary kettle's up to temp. Hate that. That grill always runs hot, so I didn't quite put a whole lot of coals in there. Kind of watch that one. Kettle's running right at 225. FireBoard says 251. Yeah, you never know. 225, 252 is what it is. Let's go. So mushrooms. Mushrooms are on. Close this up. Pull my vent over to this side over top of the mushrooms. That way, hopefully, it pulls some of that heat across. And then for the mamma jamma. Let's go, right? There she goes. There she's on. Probe, not that probe. This probe. Shit. It's gonna go right in the middle. I'm gonna cook this till it's probably somewhere around 220-ish, 225, maybe 223, 225. Pull it, we'll let it rest for a solid 45 minutes or so. But see you in a bit. All right, we're now an hour in. Let's check on our mushrooms. Mushrooms are smelling amazing. Oh yeah, look at this thing. Let's give it a little bit of juice. Base that up. Done. We hit 123 internal temperature. Come on up. Let's take it off. Let's take a look. Oh my. Oh. It smells heavenly. All right. So it cooked. Took way longer than I wanted it to. I was expecting around 2 hours. I think we're at about 2 hours and 45 minutes. Now I gotta figure out how to get this off. There we go. No drippings. Why don't you show the Very little drippings in there. Kind of surprising. Yeah, so we're gonna take it in. We're gonna let it rest, and I'll keep you updated. All right, took a little bit longer than what we thought, but here we are. Let's actually let's just go right down the middle. Oh my. Perfect. All right, final thoughts. I'm sorry I didn't mean to leave you guys hanging like that. So how was it? It was absolutely incredible. It was a rich flavor, you know, like I probably never had before. It's certainly probably not something, you know, I'll be able to do very often. Total cook time was about 3.5 hours, maybe closer to 3 hours and 45 minutes, which is about an hour longer than I really had anticipated, which is why I cut the video a little short there. You know, everybody was anxious to eat, and it was getting late, and we had all that going on. So what would I do differently? Next time I will absolutely kick my side game up, you know, the side dishes up a little bit. You have this awesome piece of prime rib, and I don't know, I kind of felt like my sides were a little lacking. Mashed potatoes that my wife made, killer. But beyond that, it was, you know, a little lacking. We were supposed to have 9 people over. Ended up having 7 people over, which left quite a bit of leftovers. I did send some home with them, and even, you know, for them. And even though I sent some home, we still had lots left. You know, lots of prime rib left over. So I bought a 9-pounder for 9 people, thinking I'd have a little bit left over, so that was kind of always in the mix, but I had a lot left over. So I probably could have cut that back, you know, by 2 pounds or so for the 9 people, including kids. So would I do it again? I absolutely will. I'm going to order some steaks for my birthday here in a couple months, and give those a shot. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I appreciate you watching till the end. Please leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. You know, I'm going to try and do a lot more cooking videos as the year rolls on. And thanks for watching.